The more than 58-hour water shutdown comes into effect today and will impact large parts of Johannesburg. Randburg says the reason for the shutdown is to allow work to be done on a major pipeline for 4 days from Tuesday until Friday. Residents have been urged, to stock up on water, with outages expected in Roodepoort, Randburg, Soweto and surrounding areas. For more on this, let's bring in Randburg spokesperson Makenosi Maroo, who joins us via our telephone line. It's great to have you on the program. Thanks so much indeed for making time. I mean, it's quite a long maintenance project. Is this the largest one that Randburg has been involved in?
No, we had bigger ones. Good morning, good morning to your listeners. We had bigger ones before this one, but I'll tell you why it's taking so long. Besides tying in A19 to B14, we are also replacing valves at the Reconciling water treatment plant, at the Spokesperson water treatment plant, at the Swartkopi system, but we are also working on electrical boards at the Litabo pumping station.
All right. We understand in some instances people will have intermittent supply of this resource. Is that water still safe to drink while you continue fixing some of the infrastructure?
Yes, the water is safe to drink. Remember, we are filling up reservoirs and then we stop the supply while we're working on the system. So whatever water that's in the reservoir has been purified, has been tested.
Sure. And in some instances, people will be wondering what necessitated this particular maintenance project. We understand that it's Randburg actually being proactive, but does come in a context where we have reported for quite some time on leakages and just old infrastructure generally that may compromise the kind of water that can be supplied to communities. All right.
This project, it's part of the bigger maintenance strategy of rainwater. Every year we do have a strategy and a plan where we look at projects that need to be maintained, to be refurbished. So it's nothing out of ordinary. It's part of Rainwater's maintenance strategy.
And is there any way of telling how much it will cost?
No. I'm not able to tell you because remember when we budget for the next 5 years. So then we take a chunk from that budget for each project, depending with how much needs to be done.
I'm not sure if I follow. You're not able to necessarily say how much this particular...
For this particular project, yes, for this particular project. But we do budget for a period of 5 years just for maintenance.
All right. So what, you're only able to tell how much it costs at the end of the project?
No. Look, what I'm saying is I don't have the figures at the moment.
Okay.
What I know is as Rainwater, when we plan for a maintenance, we have an overall budget for the next 5 years.
All right. The alternatives that people can actually rely on at the moment, I know there are some tankers in some instances that are being provided. How confident are you that the message has reached all municipalities to at least send out the message to those who will be affected by this?
Yes, we're very confident, Ayanda. We have technical meetings with our municipal customers. We have a customer charter. We have a communication protocol. So in line with those, we are supposed to communicate 21 days in advance before we undertake any planned maintenance. So we have communicated, municipalities are aware of this project, so they have made contingency plans for their customers.
Yeah. Should we expect on the other side of this project for all infrastructure-related issues, at least for the areas where you'll be working, to finally be resolved?
Look, yes, as part of the maintenance, remember we are actually working to ensure that our systems are working for the better. So we are hoping that things will improve. And it's an ongoing project. Like I'm saying, it's an ongoing project. It will go from different areas to different areas.
All right. And your communication with municipalities who, in some instances, have not been doing their part in terms of paying Randwater for the amount of water used, I imagine this is an opportunity to also reconcile those books.
Oh, yes, definitely. Those municipalities, I can list them now. We have Tshwane, we have Mfuleni, Randwest, Merafong, Wati, and Govenbegi. We are still continuing to upgrade and maintain even in those areas. So we're not saying because they're on pay, we will not be able to upgrade. We are still continuing to upgrade. We are still continuing to supply them with water.
And are you able to tell us a bit more about the kind of engagements you're having with them? I mean, in the Case of electricity as an example, we've seen instances where Eskom has moved in, quite frankly, to prevent those areas from getting electricity. Is that an option for Rand Water when it comes to this particular resource?
We did issue a statement about a week ago to saying we're taking the legal route, so we have taken them to court, and then we'll just wait to the outcome. Because remember, we do know that water is an essential service, so we are not just going to cut water, we are going to follow the process, but we are still continuing to engage some of the municipalities. For example, City of Roodepoort, through our engagement, they came through, they have paid Rand Water.
Right. All right. So that was my next question, actually. Since your notice of taking legal action, which of these municipalities have responded to you? Ekurhuleni, they came through. That was even before we went to court, so they came through. So we are continuing with the bilateral engagement and agreements through the Intergovernmental Relations Forums, and we are hoping that we don't really have to go that route, but we have pursued a legal cause, and we are starting with the things. Hopefully, there will be a positive outcome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there a scenario where this maintenance will take longer than the 5 days that you've communicated?
No. Our project, they have really worked on the plan itself. They have put in time in case there's one time should anything go wrong. So we really have planned for this one, and we're ready. And should there be problems, I mean, if things do happen in life, we will communicate.
All right. Makenosi, Maroo, thanks very much indeed for telling us what you can. She's a spokesperson there of Rand Water.